So today I'm going to be showing you how I made the beat for my latest single, Forever I Swear. This is a song that I co-wrote with Zenon, who's also a featured vocalist on the song, and if you're interested in hearing the full version, you can check that out on Spotify. Zenon and I also have a lot of new music coming out, so if you follow us on Spotify, then all of that will show up on your release radar. So I'm just going to play some of it to start, and then I'll break it down. I'm never gonna make you mad, never gonna make you cry. But if I break that promise, you know I'm never gonna leave your side. Cause we got something fly, the way that you get me high. Ain't nobody gonna break us up, go ahead and dare you come try. Cause they don't get the love that we feel. No, 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 no. They ain't never felt something this real. No, no, no. Baby, I'ma be the blood that you're pumping. Tell me where you wanna go and I'm jumping. Got no smile on my face, you ain't there. Baby, this is forever, I swear. Baby, I'ma be the strings to your heart. Promise I'ma be the end to your start. Got no smile on my face, you ain't there. This is forever, I swear. Forever, I swear.
Always tryna have your back, always tryna make you smile. No, I won't break that promise, baby, you know you're always mine. Cause I ain't asking why, your love, boy, it gets me high. Ain't nobody gonna take you from me, baby, you're my ride or die. Cause they don't get the love that we feel. No, 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 no. They ain't ever felt something this real. No, no, no.
Baby, I'ma be the blood that you're pumping. Tell me where you wanna go and I'm jumping. Got no smile on my face, you ain't there. Baby, this is forever, I swear. Baby, I'ma be the strings to your heart. Promise I'ma be the end to your start. I'ma be there, baby. Got no smile on my face, you ain't there. This is forever, I swear. Forever. So the main instrument that glues all of this song together is electric guitar. You can hear that right here soloed. So I recorded that direct through my Apollo Twin. I have a Fender Strat Elite, and then I added the processing after. I just found that recording it direct instead of through an amp got rid of a little bit of the noise. And then you can see I got reverb on here, right on the track, just 48.4% wet. And then I also have a filter that comes in on the pre-chorus, just to give it a little bit more energy coming into it. Got some vinyl distortion, compression. And then I have the lower octave in the pre-chorus. Love that we feel. No, no. So instead of playing that, I decided to pitch shift it down in Ableton because I wanted to give it a little bit more of a unique character. And then I layer the lower and upper octave in the chorus. I pitch shifted that up in Ableton. Forever, I swear, baby, I'ma be the strings to your heart. Promise I'ma be the... I use that effect throughout the song, so the verses are the main octave, pre-chorus is the lower octave, and then the choruses are the full low, mid, and high to give it a bigger feel. So then some other stuff, a lot of risers. Let's see what I did with this one. So just like a reverse sound, you can just click on something, a sound that you like, and hit reverse in Ableton, and it will do that effect for you. Got this in the bridge. This is just session strings, and then I put a bunch of distortion on it, and I put a filter on it, so it's a bandpass that looks kind of like this, and then it opens up over the course of the bridge. So you can hear at the end, it gets a little bit brighter. I swear, baby, as more harmonics are being added to it. Some other stuff we got in the bridge, there's a percussion loop right here. I got a filter on it. I also put micro shift on it.
Boy, even if they never know our names, my baby.
Girl, I think that we can elevate. And you can see the second half, it jumps up to that position just to give it a little bit more brightness and a little bit more energy for the second half. And it stays statically like that. Anytime, anywhere, forever, I swear. So some other things, the strings are a big portion of this song. I used Contact for that. I just used session strings. So you can hear this in the intro. There's a lot of different string types. I got sustain, and then pizzicato here, and then sustain here. I just found it easier to put them all on separate tracks to get all the different qualities to work together, and it sounds more like a full orchestra. And then I bounced it to audio just to make the session a little bit smaller because the CPU was getting kind of crazy up here. And that comes back in the chorus too. I'ma be there, baby. Got no smile on my face, feeling dead. So get the other string types at the end of that too. And then in the final chorus. Promise I'ma be the end to your smile. My face. So get lower and higher octaves being layered in at the very end of the chorus to kind of give it more of a build. And it's also playing an ascending line, which gives the final chorus more energy going into the outro. Some other things, I got chimes in the chorus, which brightens up the choruses. Tell me where you wanna. Got no smile. I got some drum fills here. This I got off of Splice. You can warp it to the tempo of whatever song you're doing. So get the lower and upper octave going into chorus too. Baby, I'ma be the blood that you're pumping. Tell me where you wanna go. So in the transition sections, I made all of those sounds with my Juno 60 analog synthesizer. And you can hear that here. And that's going to reverb. It's 100% wet, you can see right here. And I have a bass reverb set up. And it looks like this. And I'm cutting out the lows just so it doesn't get too muddy, but it adds a little bit of ambience. So if I take that off, this is with it on. And the other part of that section is this sound right here. And that's just a patch on my Juno 60 analog synthesizer. And it's going through a guitar distortion pedal, which I believe was the TS-808. And I pitch shifted down in Ableton at the end. And then this is the main bass right here. So there's two different basses. The top one right here is mainly meant to drive the subwoofers in the speakers. So if I play this for you right now and you're listening on iPhone built-in speaker, that doesn't have a woofer, so it's probably not going to show up. But if you're hearing on headphones or speakers that are bigger and have those woofers, you're going to hear this. So that gives like some low end in the chorus to the song. And then this is the bass that's going to show up on most speakers. That's got a bunch of distortion on it and some pitch bending. And that, again, I bounced to audio just because the CPU was starting to build up. And when you bounce stuff to audio, then you can work quicker and keep adding stuff in. And that was all just operator. Go to Instruments, Operator, Ableton. This is the main drum kit here. So I have all that on a drum rack. Tell me where you wanna go and I'm jumping. Got no smile on my face, you ain't there, baby, this is forever. It's It's got some like trap hi-hat and some trap snares, hip-hop snares, and all these drums come together to give the song more of a hip-hop vibe. And then in the pre-chorus, I put a filter on the whole kit so it gives some contrast with the chorus, make the chorus feel bigger.
That we feel. No, 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 no. They ain't never felt something this real. No,
So the drums sound like this.
no, 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 no. They ain't never felt.
Then in the chorus, it opens up. Tell me where you wanna go when I'm jumping. So I just automated the on-off for that, so that would only come in for the pre-chorus. Tell me. So some more like chime type stuff in the chorus to make it a little bit brighter. Tell me where you wanna go. This is an ocean wave that's in reverse, this riser going into pre-chorus 2. I also put some effects on it. I found if you use samples for your risers that it gives the song a little bit more character versus just using white noise. And then Beltry. Tell me where you wanna go when I'm jumping. So a lot of this type of stuff in the chorus just to make it a little bit brighter. And then that's about it for the beat. And I produced the vocals in Pro Tools just because if I put all of the different layers, there's lots of harmonies and ad-libs and things, the session starts to get too big. And it's just easier for me to work this way. And a lot of this is vocal production, and you can hear it's most evident going into chorus 3. So I'm just going to solo the vocals. You can hear that here. I ain't afraid to complicate this. Anytime, anywhere, forever, I swear. Baby, I'ma be the blood that you're pumping. Tell me where you wanna go when I'm jumping. Got a smile on my face, you ain't there. Baby, this is forever, I swear. Baby, I'ma be the strings to your heart. Promise I'ma be the end to your start. Got a smile on my face, you ain't there. This is forever, I swear. Forever, I swear. So that's pretty much it. I have a new song coming out this Friday. If you're interested, you can check that out. It's called Remember 17. And I have a lot of new music coming out this year. So be sure to check that out and check out Zenon's new music too. And follow us on Spotify and you'll get all of that on your release radar. So thank you.